All right. Hello, my name is Nitin, and I'm conducting this interview as a part of the Futures course at UC Berkeley. And a question for our interviewee, can you tell us your name, your business, and what your role was in it?
Yeah, hi. My name is Vijay Chander. I was the co-founder and CTO of Voltex, which got acquired by Cisco, where I'm a distinguished engineer in the Cisco security business group.
All right. So what factors in your background led you to start your venture or become an entrepreneur?
Yeah, so basically, I've been part of multiple startups, which have where I've been like a junior engineer to a founding engineer, and all of them due to a little bit of luck, I guess, got acquired. So all of them got a good exit. So starting with Nokia getting acquired by Amber getting acquired by Nokia, then Andiamo coming back to Cisco, then Embrain getting acquired by Cisco, then NCMA coming back into Cisco. So all these things so kind of gave me the financial stability and cushion, and also got me, especially the last one, the Pensando after NCMA, got me very close to seeing how the founders work. Like these are considered Cisco, what do you call, the networking on what do you call pioneers, like Mario, Luca, Prem, and Sony. So I've seen them closely at work, and then what I realized is it's a I think I have enough experience through these various acquisitions and startups that I can actually like think about an idea with a co-founder and actually get going. So the financial stability and watching founders working who are industry pioneers at close quarters. So those are the two factors that contributed.
Hmm. Okay. And I guess with Voltex, what specific problem were you solving, and how did you
Yeah.
approach solving that problem?
So the first thing with any startup is basically you need to like try to get an approximate idea of who you're going to work with as a co-founder. So typically, it's a very what do you call a rare thing for a founder to go all alone. You typically have a co-founder or co-founders. So in this case, so Vishal and I go way back. Like I've known him for like 20 plus years, and we were both at Pensando, and we used to go. So we got exposed to a bunch of customers while at Pensando, like Goldman Sachs, Toronto Stock Exchange, and a bunch of these things. And what we realized is Pensando was building something for an on-prem, right? Like they were trying to build a server NIC for security. So what we realized is all these customers were also having a cloud footprint, and they were trying to run some applications in the cloud. And at that point in time, we're talking 2018, 2017, 2018. At that point in time, cloud was a very what do you call in very beginning stages with respect to security. So everything in the cloud is delivered as a service. So right away, we kind of saw that first of all, there is no proper enterprise class security solution out there in the cloud. The second thing is even though there are some initial solutions coming from the industry leaders like Palo Alto, they're not being delivered as a service. Everything in the cloud is delivered as a service. So basically, customers having a application footprint in the cloud, nothing and no enterprise class security which is delivered as a service in the cloud. So those two things kind of contributed towards us thinking along these lines.
What was your differentiation from the competition? Like, is
Yeah.
there anything like very similar, like that multi-cloud solution that Voltex is
Yeah.
known for?
Yeah, so I think so. Basically, so the incumbent. So the way to kind of form an analogy, right? If you form an analogy that'll make you understand better. So there's this. If you look at data warehousing, so we are network security. So if you look at data warehousing, the incumbents, the on-prem incumbents, right? These are the industry leaders for the on-prem data warehousing solutions. So there are a bunch out there, and then the IBM, the Oracles of the world, right? So they had the on-prem solution. So along comes Snowflake and says they will deliver a multi-cloud data warehousing as a service. So what the incumbents did is they actually ported their on-prem solution into an image that can run on the cloud and left everything to the customers to actually deploy and manage all of that. Whereas Snowflake came and said, no, you don't have to worry about all that. So we will take care of delivering it as a service, as software as a service, and we will provide data warehousing as a service. So similarly, so if we now take the analogy for networking security, so the incumbents at the Palo Alto, the Checkpoint, and the Fortinets, they have built the on-prem firewalls. And what they did is they ported those firewalls into virtual machines and left it up to the customer to actually take that image and deploy it and manage it for the cloud, right? So cloud is a highly distributed environment. So you'll have multiple regions, multiple accounts, and even multiple clouds, right? So that's too much of a nightmare for a customer to actually figure out and actually manage all that. So what we said is we will deliver all of this as a service. You don't have to worry about the management aspects of it. You just focus on whether your cloud footprint is protected well. So you just focus on the security policies and how it's being deployed, how it's actually being protected. And don't worry about the management part of it. So that's the analogy, right?
What was your go-to-market strategy?
So so the thing is, so we had this what do you call like talk like idea of the customers looking for a security solution in the cloud for their applications, but the customers are also what do you call come in different phases, different stages, right? So some are like cloud first, so which are like really like they're completely putting everything in the cloud and they want to run the everything as a service in the cloud, fully automated and all that. That's
Mhm.
one end of the spectrum. The other end of the spectrum is okay. So they want like predominant footprint to be in the data center, and some of the applications to run non-critical applications to run in the cloud, right? So that's the other end. So So initially, what we were targeting was kind of the extreme left, the fully automated cloud first kind of customers, and those tend to be small startups to mid-tier enterprises. So the large enterprises tend to fall on the other end of the spectrum, right? So our go-to market was, so we will build this service with an easy free trial subscription where anybody can come to our website and with a few clicks can set up an account to try it out free. So it's basically by this is called product based marketing, right? So where we are putting it out there for people to try to actually come to us and then engage us in more deeper discussions. So as opposed to us going and sending these salespeople on cold calls to these various customers and actually trying to see if there's a need for our product, right? So it's more inbounds, getting those inbound leads as opposed to the outbound way of selling, like any SaaS service. And then we're also kind of using the conferences and the various places to actually go and kind of show how things work. So we were in AWS reInvent, AWS Reinforce, Azure, GCP, and all these conferences, right? So we were going to this cloud first conferences and trying to expose the product. Yeah, so it's kind of, it's, I will say, ultimately, so we did have like a couple of sales folks and a marketing person to go the standard way of actually calling customers out there to see if there's a potential need for this kind of product based on who we think can be our customers. But it turned out that the inbound leads are the best leads that we got, and we turned into multi-million dollar deals.
Okay, and last question is, what lessons have you learned from this experience, and what would you tell young entrepreneurs?
Our day one focus is for ingress security, but then what we realized is as more and more customer conversations and inbound leads started coming in, so what we realized is we had to build it for the egress security as well. So ingress security needs reverse proxy to get into more technical details, whereas egress security needs a forwarding mode or a forward proxy. So they're kind of slightly different things, but close enough in terms of network security, right? So we had to gently pivot from our initial premise of ingress security to egress security, and so I think, so what I will advise the young entrepreneurs is come with a, what do you call, a strong technical background and a product background. So have founders with those, and listen, right? So you actually have a premise, and then if that clicks, then you're off to the races. If your premise is what the pain point of the customer is, but sometimes it turns out that there's a bigger pain point than your premise. And you need to gently pivot to that bigger premise, a bigger pain point, so that you address that first before you get to the other. So I think, so be prepared to iterate fast based on feedback and slightly pivot.
Okay, I guess that'll be all the questions I'll have for this interview. Thank you so much for your time, and I know I learned a lot.